What's up, NIO family? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall market. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $2,000, you're guaranteed 30 in total. And the offer ends at the end of March. Anyways, as far as NIO is going, we're doing a good job so far trying to balance. I want to see us hold above that 4.96 area. If that holds, we may continue this uptrend as time goes on. But I think that we're doing a fantastic job for us to see a temporary bounce. And I think that as we have earnings coming up, there could be more factors causing more volatility. So with the market right now, there's a lot of optimism with the government shutdown being avoided, another funding bill for the government, not to mention potential ceasefire deals to be made between Russia and Ukraine. So right now, there's more optimism for once the market's starting to bounce. This move may continue as time goes on. The first thing I want to say is that when you look at the market's heat map, almost every single stock was in the green, with very, very few exceptions. Big tech is pumping, so are consumer durables, and we're seeing retail following the trend. And then this is what's helping NIO as well, as the price-price ratio is still elevated, meaning that it's building a little bit more strength. Mondays tend to be green only about 49% of the time, but we tend to be a lot stronger on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Now, as far as NIO is going, NIO is talking about how with the future of smart EV charging, they are once again improving their overall chargers. And they're talking about their smart charging systems that could help drivers charge at the lowest cost possible. So that's some good news, at least for them. And then to add on to this, I want to say that NIO also has earnings this coming Friday, or next Friday to be more precise. We have earnings coming out, may cause a lot of volatility, so make sure you watch and see what they tell us about their deliveries and their production growth targets for the year. That's going to be very big. Now, going into some news, for Monday, we have retail sales data, which is quite minor. On Tuesday, we have manufacturing numbers. And then for Wednesday, we have the very important FOMC meeting with Jerome Powell giving a speech. So get ready for that just to be safe. That's going to be very important. Besides that, I was listening to what's happening right now, at least involving, the U.S. government. And for now, we're seeing that the Senate is once again trying to pass the funding bill by tonight to avoid the shutdown. That's some big news that's coming out so far. So they're continuing to try to get to that 60 vote threshold. One thing that's very, very good is the fact that there's been about 10 Senate Democrats that have joined with most of their GOP colleagues on Friday to advance the government funding bill, right, in a way to avoid the government shutdown. So in essence, so far, there is most likely going to see positive remarks from this, because we're seeing Chuck Schumer coming out and he's saying that he's willing to vote in favor of the bill instead of having to deal with consequences. And that's actually a very, very good thing that he's saying, because this is incentivizing more of the other Democrats to kind of join in. This in turn is going to help them avoid the shutdowns. That's very important to remember. Basically, they mentioned that the shutdown is the worst thing that could happen, and to avoid that, and to avoid the amount of scrutiny they're going to get because of it, they are once again leaning in favor of passing the bill. So hopefully tonight they pass the bill, and we avoid a government shutdown. Then President Trump is going to sign the bill, and then that's going to once again help the government stay in place, keep it funded, and etc. And as a result, I want to say that with that happening, that could be more positive for the markets. It could help the market push even more on Monday once the news comes out that this passes. There's also been some talk about what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. The White House press secretary is saying that there's a lot of progress being made with the 30-day ceasefire. Ukraine has agreed upon it, but Russia has more demands it wants to make for them to negotiate. So keep that in mind. However, we did see some positive remarks being made about the administration, at least from Vladimir Putin. And the reason I say that's important is because, they are open to negotiating, and I really want to see a ceasefire for peace. I'm not here to favor any sides. I just want peace, guys. We all want peace. We know who the aggressor is. We know who did what. We could already talk about that when it comes to politics, but that's not my job. Is from this point on, I just want to say I want peace from both sides. That's what we want, and that's what we're going to be looking for. So keep that in mind. Besides that, we did see consumer sentiment kind of weak, but then, with all the news about Trump, it's just the same news circulating. I'm not seeing him talking as much about tariffs today, and as a result, the market's trying to bounce. So hopefully, we don't get as much tariff talk until we get closer to April, when we have new reciprocal tariffs coming. The market was at extreme fear. Now I think fear is going to subside just a little bit. Momentum is at extreme fear, but this is once again going to likely slow down. The put to call option ratio is elevated. It got so high, so many puts are being bought. We'll see if we see a miniature squeeze in the markets for now. and the VIX is starting to reject, which is a good sign for the markets. Besides that, what do I see for the charts? Well, as far as NIO goes, if we get the government spending bill, we could be looking for a push to about 4.96. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt to get back up to about that 5.25 target for a temporary bounce. Looking at the daily chart on SPY, we have a bullish looking daily close, and we could continue this push. I want to see us get back above 565. If that breaks, we're looking for 575 as our potential targets. And on the 4-hour time frame, I think we're looking quite good. So this has potential as well to push even higher. For the QQQ, we look bullish. I want to see us hold above 478. As long as we hold this, we could be trying to form a double bottom and try to push back up for the 490 area. So there's potential in this chart. For the Russell 2000, if we could break and hold above 202, I'm looking for a test of this trend line at 205. And if that breaks, we could go a little bit higher. ES could be trying to get up to about 5680 to 5700. I see potential in the charts nonetheless. For NQ, we have 19,873 as resistance. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt to push even more. For Bitcoin, we're making higher lows here. We had a low here, we bounced, made a higher low, and we bounced. So we could continue to push back up towards that 88,000 area. For Nvda, we're trying to push back up to 126. As long as we don't end up losing 117, we could continue to pump at least for that potential target. I think that 126 becomes a strong possibility, so keep that in mind. For Tesla, we're looking a little bit more bullish, but it depends on if we could hold above 250. If we could break that, I do see us potentially going up to about 262 to 265. If we can't hold above 250, we could turn back down. We have a slanted inverse head and shoulders, and we're trying to make a higher low, so there's potential for a temporary bounce. Aapl could also try to push higher for essentially 216. Netflix could also attempt to go higher for 931, so hopefully we do continue this push. And the majority of stocks remain more bullish. Coinbase is in the middle right now, kind of like Bitcoin. As long as we can make a higher low here, we might dip, and as long as we could hold like 179 to 180, we could still eventually turn back down for 185 plus. For Amazon, we're trying to push higher, making higher lows here. As long as we get back above 200, we're looking for an attempt for 202. For Meta, we're also trying to push, get back above 610, and we're looking for an attempt to get back up to this imbalance towards 615. For Microsoft, you want to see this thing break past 389. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for 393. Google needs to break past 168. If that breaks, we're looking for an attempt for 170 as well. So I see potential. The VIX is looking weak. It's looking bearish right here. So off this head and shoulders, it might be dipping a little bit more. That's a bullish sign for now. Just temporarily for the markets, just a temporary bounce for now. Not saying it's going to last forever. This may last like another few days, another week or two. So be careful. With that being said, the market may try to bounce, especially with the potential funding bill that's coming. And this could actually help stocks like NIO and the whole market try to follow the trend, right? The trend is now trying to bounce, and we're seeing that helping NIO. So approaching earnings, I would see a small push for 5.25. Watch your charts very, very closely, guys, and I'll be back with another upload, hopefully on Sunday. I'm going on a trip this weekend, so I'm not sure if I'll be even uploading a video on Sunday. I'll try my best to do that in the evening time. Until then, I'll see you guys soon. Have a good one, and peace out.